Whenever you come in, let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure you can hear me before we start. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Okay. So today we're going to be talking all about how they tried to break your spirit, but God made you unshakable. I don't know who have experienced this, but I know this season right here was a trying season for me. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. I want to make sure before I start speaking. One love. Okay, thank you so much. I'm happy you can hear me. And welcome in, David. Thank you so much for coming. On Wednesdays, I used to do Wisdom Wednesday, but I usually do it as a post. But today I decided to show up because I want to connect more with you guys. But if you missed it, today's topic is they tried to break you, but God made you unshakable. Welcome in, welcome in. So how many of you experienced going through betrayal and you felt like you was not going to be able to get out of it, or you felt like it was the end of your story? Let's talk about it. I just want to, open the floor before I start. Welcome in. Who is that? Dante. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Precious K. I'm a transformational life coach, prophetess, and an author. And I help you heal your emotional pain, or if you've experienced loss, grief, or anything dealing with betrayal trauma or death. Oh, I forgot to tell you, and also spiritual warfare. So if you experiencing spiritual attacks, I also help with that as well. But today I just want to speak mostly about betrayal, because a lot of people, they experience betrayal and they think they can't bounce back from the situations. But I want to tell you today that the betrayal that you experience, that was your teacher. And the majority of the times people don't understand that that's where you find your wisdom at, through that betrayal, because that betrayal you experienced, it made you stronger. And that's the part that people mess up on, because a lot of times when people experience betrayal, they think there is bad luck, or they think that it's, just a tough time in their life, which it is a tough time, but you got to go through the worst before it get better. And that's what I had to learn. Welcome in. Who's that? Bridgetta. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. And if you are new here, welcome. But yes, so if you experiencing betrayal right now, I just want to encourage you to, like I said, just push through it. Just apply as much pressure as you can. Welcome in. I see some new faces. Welcome in. Thank y'all so much for stopping by, showing all the love. Yes. Good afternoon, my beautiful black queen. Hey, Dr. Jonathan. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. I appreciate you. Who's that? They call my name all day since 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. causing chaos, and I don't see them. I know that's right. You got to pretend like they don't even exist. But yeah, that's why I'm here today. I want to talk about, if anybody experienced betrayal, just letting you know, like, there's ways around it. You don't have to let it feel like it's the end of your story. Welcome in. Welcome in. And let me know where you guys is from, because I want to get to know you guys so we can connect. Yes. Positive vibes only. Yes. And I just want to go ahead and set the tone for the live. If there's any negative comments, I'm going to go ahead and block you automatic, because this is a positive space. We're talking about God. And if you don't want to talk about God, you're in the wrong live. So don't bring any negativity to my live, because I don't condone in it, and you will be blocked. So I just want to go ahead and set the tone. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So most of the time when people go through betrayal, you experience different experiences. I cannot speak for everybody, but I know with me, one of the major things that I experienced was isolation. And when, you have people, they want to isolate you from everybody because they want to weaken your support system to make you feel like, you're by yourself and there's nobody to help you, or they think that if, they weaken your support system, that you will stop. But I'm here to encourage you today that no matter how many people they isolate you from, do not stop, keep going, and apply as much pressure as possible. Because you have a lot of people that are intimidated by your growth, by your potential. And what they'll do is they'll try to humble you, because your confidence to them looks like arrogance to their insecurities. But I'm here to tell you that their burden is not your burden. So don't take on other people's burdens because they don't want to do the work to heal themselves. Because a lot of times, like I say, people, they don't want to do the work to heal themselves. And I see it happen all the time where they'll try to destroy people, try to make you shrink because they feel intimidated by your potential, your growth, or even your presence. Because, chosen ones have a powerful presence and a lot of people can't handle it. So do not let nobody intimidate you in this season. Right now, a lot of people is heavily provoking people, trying to get a response out of you, trying to play, little crazy clown games, but don't fall in them traps, you guys. You got to be aware and awakened. So I'm here, if anybody is going through something and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it today. Because that's what I'm here for, to help you, be awakened and aware to those tactics so y'all won't fall in those traps. And like I said, you're speaking to somebody that is very experienced. I've been, going through a lot, but I've overcame those obstacles. I did not let none of the attacks or the betrayal that I experienced make me fold. Instead, I rose above it all. So, and I also have a book full of battle-tested prayers that I went through my whole season of, going through spiritual warfare, and it helped me. Yes. Oh, thank you. I see somebody say, like, Lisa, thank you so much. But yeah, I just want to say, just don't allow people to make you fold. Yes. And somebody said something in here. I live alone and they turn everyone against me, but God, yes. And you're going to deal with that. Like I said, a lot of people that's intimidated or feel inferior, of your spirit, they'll try to intimidate you, try to dim your light, try to turn everybody against you with smear campaigns, just to make you seem like you're a bad person. Or, like I said, some people try to cover you up because you shining too brightly and they don't want everybody else to see you, or they don't want you to feel like you're important. In this season, you're going to have a lot of people trying to pretend like you don't exist. They're going to try to ignore your presence, or they're going to try to intentionally provoke negative reactions from you by doing, like I say, crazy, silly stuff. But do not fall into them traps. Hello, what is your career? What's your service you offer? Freely, I love your energy. I'm a star seed. Welcome in. Who's that? Linus of Judah. Okay, so I'm a transformational life coach. I'm a prophetess and an author, and I offer many services. If you're dealing with like narcissistic abuse, if you're dealing with betrayal trauma, emotional trauma, or any type of situation that somebody try to dethrone you from, and you feel like you're having trouble bouncing back from it, I help you build, unshakable power, confidence, so that you can be able to take on these attacks and not let it take on to you, take over your life, or where you can't control it. So, because what you got to understand is when you're going through these attacks, people, it's because it's coming from a place of control. People are obsessed with control in this season. And if they can't control you, the only thing they know is to attack, because they don't understand the chosen ones. And when people can't understand you, that's when they attack you, because they attack what they don't understand. Okay. But like I said, I have coaching services. I have a lot of resources. You could check out my bio that can help, and I do have a lot of free ones as well that you can check out. And I just started something new. Every week, I'm going to be sending out emails to, help you educationally when it comes to dealing with spiritual warfare or dealing with battles where you're feeling, people forming groups up against you. If you dealing with warfare drama in the workplace, I've done it all. So if you having those type of issues, check out my bio. I'll be more than happy to work with you and coach you on that. And if you're dealing with spiritual warfare and you don't know how to fight back, I also just wrote a book. It's called Forged in the Flames, Birthed Out the Fire, Destined for the Throne. And it's specifically for chosen ones rising from betrayal, heartbreak, and loss. So if you're dealing with that, you could check out that in my bio too. And it's selling too. I had 3 orders today, and I had 1 the other day. So people are buying them. So the book definitely is helping. I was about to say, I wish I had it beside me. I could have showed you. Okay, somebody says provoking me. Okay, so David, you're dealing with people provoking you. For some reason, like I said, something about you that makes them intimidated, where they feel like they want to overpower you, and where they feel like they want to, you might be outshining them. Sometimes when you outshining a person, that makes them upset too. It all boils down from jealousy and hate. And in that jealousy and hate, it manifests into spiritual warfare. So, David, if you don't mind sharing, let me know a scenario of what they're doing to provoke you, and maybe I can, help guide you. And while you're responding, I'm going to go ahead and move to Bridgetta. She said, my mother dimmed my light from birth, gave me to my grandma at 9 months. So glad to meet you. Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so sorry to hear about your story. But you definitely can bounce back from that. Don't let that stop you. Sometimes people give away, kids because they feel like they can't handle the pressure or the stress, in which that's not an excuse. But sometimes people just don't want to take care of their responsibility. And instead of, people taking care of their responsibility, they chose to take shortcuts and just, dump it on somebody else. But I'm truly sorry that you had to experience that. But like I said, you definitely a chosen one, and as a chosen one, it's going to feel like you don't have a lot of support. It's going to feel like you've been abandoned. It's going to feel like you've been outcast. So you definitely came to the right place, because God is leading me to help people that experience situations like this. Because my situation is a little bit different, but I know I've been outcast from my family, and it's not a good feeling. So but that's why I build this ministry tribe, so that we can connect with each other, so that we can talk, and we can be family here. Because like I said, I cut off a lot of members of my family. I don't talk to a lot of people. I can count on one hand how many people that I still would talk to, but I'm done. Because like I said, if people can go out their way to intentionally provoke you, they never had your best interests at heart. And if people can go out their way to give you away, or just, dismiss you like they don't care, they never had your best interest at heart. And it's very hard coming from the person being your mother or your sister or your cousin or brother, like the close members. So I know the betrayal cut deep, but let me tell you something. The enemy, he wants you to be stuck in your trauma, but the devil is a liar. You will not be stuck in your trauma. Life goes on, and like I said, I teach you how to outlast betrayal. So if you need counseling, not counseling, but if you need coaching in that area, it's kind of like counseling, but if you need coaching in that area, you can go ahead and go to my bio and just look at the services that I offer. And I can definitely help you, build resilience, strengthen your faith, and get your confidence back on track. Because I know that when you're going through situations like that, it can definitely make you feel, less of yourself, because you feel like you're not wanted. But just because somebody, chose to make a bad decision, that don't mean, don't let it impact you. Okay, somebody saying in the neighborhood is so wicked. How people behave, honking me in the store. As soon as I come in, I feel the wicked spirit laughing in my face, like making fun of me. As soon as you see that type of spirit where they mocking you, that already let you know that's not of God. Because God would never put people around you that, will be mocking you and trying to make fun of you. But whoever is doing that, they definitely possessed by demons. But when they do that, like I said, I know it's hard to ignore, but you got to try your best to tune it out. Because like I said, most people are using that tactic because they want to make you feel like something is wrong with you, or to make you feel like you crazy. But you just have to tune them out. I repeat, do not respond, do not reply. Don't even look in their direction. Just pretend like they don't exist. And most of the time you are going to deal with that in the neighborhoods. It can be whether it's your neighbor, whether it's, just people around. It's something about you that intimidates them. And when people see something, like I said, they intimidated by, they want to attack it. Because I've been through it. I'm still going through it to this day. But I don't allow nobody to project their negative energy onto me. And if you need me to counsel you in certain areas, or coach you in certain areas with it, dealing with that, I definitely can. Because I've been through those type of situations. I've mastered how to deal with it. And like I say, as a chosen one, you're going to continue to go through these situations where people want to, track your movements. They want to monitor you because they don't understand you. They so used to making people shrink and manipulating you. And see, with the chosen ones, you cannot be manipulated. And that's where the problem is coming from. They can't manipulate you because your discernment is so sharp. And you can see right through it. I'm telling you, like I said, as a chosen one, you're going to experience a lot of attacks. People are going to try to test you because, like I said, they so used to making people shrink. They want you to feel weak. They want you to be stuck in your trauma. But you got to outlast that betrayal. And like I said, that's what I teach. I teach you how to outlast that betrayal so you can, protect your energy, live a fulfilling life, and be happy. Because God didn't put us here to be stuck in our trauma or be controlled by somebody else. And a lot of times you going through those situations because people, they think they're God. And God is getting tired of people in this season trying to put themselves in a position that, or a pedestal that they don't deserve to be on. But a lot of people, like I said, they think they can control your life. Most of them are obsessed with controlling your emotions. They want they want to be in charge of when you're happy, want to be in charge of when you're sad. But how you can know a person is of the devil or fighting with demons is if your peace makes them angry, or if they try to do things to attack your peace. They're fighting with demons. And you cannot fall into those traps, I'm telling you. I deal with it all the time, but I don't let nobody project their nasty energy on me. They can keep that filthy energy where they at. Because if you let them come, like I said, and definitely don't retaliate, because when you retaliate, you're giving them your power. Do not give away your power in this season. Okay, somebody said, oh, I'd come to the city for summer break. She beat and cussed me all summer. Just died in 2018. I'm here, only child, father, and her both alcoholics. I need coaching. Okay, Bridgetta, go to my bio right now and book a session with me, or whenever we get off this live. Book a session with me. And what I'm going to have you do, is we're going to fill out more things in detail, because I want to make sure that we hone in on everything that you need coaching on. If you do not see, in my bio what you need coaching on, just still book a session with me. And I'll, like I said, I can adjust it according to what you need. Welcome in, Audrey. Thank you so much for coming in all the way from Boston. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you coming in and this information is resonating with you. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you came. Yes. And somebody said, I need confirmation. Okay, let me know where you need confirmation at, and I'll come back to you once you put it in the chat. Okay, so David says, I have before. I was not aware. I laughed from the inside and walked with shoes of peace. Yes, definitely. Yeah, walk with peace. You laugh at them because that's all, because see, the thing about it, they want to make you angry. And see, if you don't give them that ammunition to make you, if you don't give them the ammunition to make you angry, then you're winning. But if you, like I say, let them control your emotions, fall into those traps, get upset, or let them see any sign that you're being disturbed, you lost. Because that's what they want to do. They want to intentionally ruin your day. Oh, welcome in, Rhonda. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. I think I seen you on a couple of my other lives. Yes, I'm speaking nothing but truth today, the raw truth. And we ain't sugarcoating nothing in here. You said, I can see them without talking. Yes. And that's the thing. God make your gifts so strong. And see, that's why they get mad. They frustrated with you because they know you can see through them. The tricks that they usually use and the manipulation they usually use on other people is not working on you. So that frustrates them and make them want to attack you further. You and David, it's not even the end of it. They're going to keep trying to try new bait traps or tricks to try to upset you. Like I said, I know how it is. People like to antagonize and gaslight you. I don't know what they get out of it, but they feel powerful if they can make you shrink. And when a person got to make somebody else shrink to feel tall, that's insecurity. So just know that when they act like that, it's not you, it's them. And they refuse to put the work in to do the healing that they need. So instead of them doing the healing, they attack you. Because like I said, I go through it every day. And like I said, I refuse to let somebody dump their nasty, filthy energy on me. I stay protected. I stay guarded. I pray daily. And I pray multiple times a day. I fast. And I'm telling you, God has already been moving and showing me signs of he's working and taking care of that situation. And let me tell you something. And when God do things, he might not do it the way that you want him to do it, but just know that he will take care of it. But I know it can be frustrating. It can be aggravating, annoying. But like I say, just try to outlast it. Try to, protect your peace. And if you need help with trying to find tactics or things that you can use, like I say, we can talk about it in our session once you book it. Let me see. Bridgetta Armstead say, I'm a coal miner's granddaughter, now diagnosed with PTSD. Have never heard of trauma, NPD, codependency. And see, that's the thing. Like sometimes you can go through so much, and it can cause those things, especially like PTSD. You got to protect your peace. You got to find ways to protect your peace because you definitely don't need nothing to add to that. You say MPT. So what I would say, just continue to pray. And if like I said in our session, we can go more in depth on things that we can talk about. And somebody say, yes, far away. David said, yes, keep my peace. I don't care about what people, yeah, you can't care about people's opinion because that's what they want you to do. And a lot of times people fall victim to, caring about what somebody say. Because my thing is, if you worry about what they say and let what they say define you, you will never reach your purpose. Because you got to understand that if they was in charge, they will keep you beneath them. And for some reason, people are obsessed with keeping you beneath them. And if they see you getting a little bit ahead, they want to do something to try to pull you back like a crab in a bucket. And I'm telling you, you're going to deal with that a lot as a chosen one. Because like I said, I deal with it daily, and just because you're chosen don't mean that you're not going to go through fights and stuff. So you're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through a lot, but I'm telling you, you got to know how to outlast those attacks, and you got to know how to not let it affect you or drain your spirit. Because for some reason, like I said, when it comes to the chosen ones, you have a lot of energy vampires. They want to drain your spirit. They want to stop, like I said, they want to stop you. Okay, so I have somebody stronger wait for. Okay, can you help me out? Okay, Michael, let me know what you need help with, and I'm going to come back to you when you respond in the chat. Stronger waiting for the Lord. Yeah, you got to stay strong and wait for God, because my thing is, if you respond without God, you're going to respond wrong. And see, that's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to fall into those traps and like retaliate. He wants you to, get flustered. And see, you don't want to do that because, like I say, that's where you lose your power, when you give them the power to upset you. You got to know how to be in control of your emotions. And it's not about, us power playing. For some reason, they like the power play games with us, but you got to know how to beat them at their own game. And that's what I educate you on too. Know how to beat them at their own game, because they're going to try all kind of clown tricks. Any trick that they can try to upset you, they're going to try it because they feel intimidated. Your presence is too powerful. And for some reason, like I said, people are satisfied when they see you stressed out, down, looking sad all the time. God didn't put us here to be like that. He put us here to be happy and fulfill, have a happy, fulfilling life. But so many people, especially in those workplaces too, and your family, and maybe your friend group too, they want to see you down and out. They want to, do things to orchestrate downfalls. And I'm not sure if I have anybody on here, but usually on my other lives, I have a lot of people talking about how people come together, forming groups, against you in workplaces, families, or your friend groups. If you're having trouble with people, triangulation, I can coach you on that as well. Yeah. But I just want to let you know that, when you go through those situations, God will pull you away from those type of people. And when God pulls you away, it's going to feel like you're in punishment. And some people might feel like it's a prison, but it's not. God pulling you into isolation, so he can open your eyes more so that you can see and so you can heal. And so he can show you and equip you for those battles. Welcome in, Chastity. Yes, so if you're in a season of isolation, put a 1 in the chat. And I'm going to talk about isolation for a minute. I'm a different man. Now, isolation helped me out a lot. Watching your videos too. Oh, thank you so much, David. Now I let them hate. Now they are exhausted. And yeah, they end up getting exhausted. And see, that's the purpose of what I teach. Like, you got to know how to outlast the betrayal. Because if you know how to outlast it, like I said, they're going to burn out fast. And you nailing it, David. You doing good. Keep doing what you're doing. But like I said, during that, because see, the thing about it is narcissists think that when they put you in isolation that they hurting you, but they don't even understand that they're pushing you closer to your purpose. Because when you're in that isolation season, that means that all the distractions are gone. You don't have nobody in your ear trying to point you in the wrong direction. You don't have nobody in your ear where, you can't hear God. Because when you're in isolation, you can hear God more. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. So when the people that came up against me in the workplace, in my family, when they came up against me trying to isolate me from everybody, I was good because I didn't want to talk to them no way, because like I said, their energy was filthy. And where God trying to take me, neither one of them gonna go where God taking me. So, and God want to make sure that God, before God bless you, he gonna move all the people out the way, and he gonna show you their true colors. But like I say, at first it gonna hurt, you know what I'm saying, when you're going through the isolation. But I'm so used to it. I went through dealing with isolation all my life with people like jealous friend groups, mainly my family, mainly in the workplace where the mean girl clique get together, or you can't sit with us. And see, one thing about the children, we don't need to be in a clique. We're powerful by ourselves, and that's what makes them upset, because they need a clique, or they need to go call their homegirl, girlfriend, or cousin, or whoever, to form a group to come up against you, because they weak and they insecure and they cannot handle things by themselves, and they need people to prop them up, to make them, to boost their ego and give them confidence, because they have no confidence without having somebody to prop them up. They have no idea. Treating myself like a king. I love being at home. Glory be God. Yes, you got to stay out the way sometime. And when I say stay out the way, it doesn't mean hide, but you got to go in your hermit mode season and get away from all that negative energy, because like I said, you can go some way. Prime example, I went to McDonald's this morning to get me something to eat, and it's this guy, he came out of nowhere. He just had a nasty look on his face. I was like, good morning, because he was just staring me up and down, and he just looked like he just was angry. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, the devil is a liar. I'm not gonna let him dump his nasty energy on me. But I said good morning, that was it. But I could tell he was angry, and you have some people in this season, for some reason, they feel like, they get an ego boost off you acknowledging them. Some people feel like, you got to acknowledge them, but I'm here to tell you, don't feed the narcissist ego. If they can't acknowledge you, if they can't respect you, you do not have to acknowledge them. People like that, I treat them like they don't exist, because my thing is not that I'm arrogant, but at the same time, you're not God. I'm not going to put you on no pedestal like you're God. I don't have to acknowledge you, especially if I already feel like your energy is dirty. That's just where I'm at. Let me see, they have no idea. Yes, so. And, and like I say, most importantly, choose wisdom over revenge, because God said vengeance is his. Do not seek revenge when people come up against you and attack you, because like I said, you're giving your power away, and you're allowing the enemy to come in and cause you to fumble your blessing. So do not give your power away. Welcome in, Stephen. Somebody say, hi, my name is Emertha Feezy. You say you from the Bahamas. Thank you so much for coming in all the way from the Bahamas. I definitely will pray for you, your son, and Daniel. Definitely. And I also have a prayer request form too in my bio. If you need me to pray specifically for certain things, fill that out, and I'll be happy to make sure that I, get your prayers to God. Oh, thank you so much, Barbie. I appreciate you. But yes, back to what I was saying. Choose wisdom over revenge. Because like I said, God said vengeance is not, vengeance is his, not yours. So don't, please don't fall in that trap of seeking revenge, because it can be hard. Because I know, I ain't gonna lie, I battle with it sometimes too, and yes, I overcame a lot, but sometimes, your mind can go back to a place of being angry and frustrated. Like, if I was awakened to this earlier, I wouldn't allow this. But I want to tell you, don't beat yourself up over something that happened a while ago. You can't change it. As long as you're awakened now and God is showing you and guiding you accordingly, let it go. Let go and let God. Because I promise you, if you let go, let God, and you surrender, that's when you will see God moving in your life. And somebody say your shorts and videos has made a lot of my days seem okay. Oh, I'm so glad that my shorts inspiring you. Who's that, Damar? I appreciate you. And Barbie say, pray for me. I want my job back. I definitely will. Pray for Daniel. God, protect his mind. Okay, I pray that he, about his mind and from the enemy, definitely. I definitely will pray for you and your family. Because like I said, a lot of spiritual attacks are happening right now, and you'll be surprised at what prayers reach God. Because, and you'll be surprised sometimes too, because sometimes God answers certain prayers faster than certain ones. Because what I prayed with, I think I was dealing with a situation like what last week, and as soon as I prayed, I seen God moving immediately, and I was just shocked. Not shocked that I didn't believe Him, but I was just like, wow, it made me feel good that He answered me. Okay, somebody says, someone said the greatest wisdom comes from a great struggle. It's hard, but God is my rock. I know that's right. Yes, you know, it does come from the struggle. It get worse before it get better, and that's the part that people don't understand. I'm telling you, it is. Like I said, sometimes it can feel like punishment, but I promise you, God is not punishing you. He's pruning you, and He's teaching you, and equipping you so you'll know how to deal with those attacks. Because think about it, the more and more you experience those attacks, guess what? You get stronger and stronger, and you get wiser and wiser, because now you know what I'm saying. Because and you're also going to notice like it's a pattern. The same people going to be doing the same stuff. You can be like, oh, been through that, oh, saw that, you know good try, like I already seen that. And it's gonna roll off your back like water, because you're gonna be so used to seeing it, and your body is gonna be immune to fighting those attacks. It's like fighting off a virus. But in this case, you can be fighting off spiritual warfare, but your body is going to fight it off with no problems, because you're already immune to it. So when you see people doing these same old clown tricks that you done seen 1,000 times, they don't know you 20 steps ahead of them. You know, to you, you can laugh inside because they looking like clowns, and they don't realize it. Y'all still asleep. I'm woke. They don't realize the joke is on them. It seems like punishment though. Yes, it do. I'm gonna promise you, like, I promise you, it do seem like punishment, and it do seem like the season of waiting is a long time. Cause like I said, I'm still going through a season of waiting on certain things, and I pray, and I'm like, God, where are you? But I promise you, you just keep praying. He will answer you. Just make sure that you're in alignment and doing things that you're supposed to be doing, because sometimes we could be praying for something, but if we're not in alignment, God is not going to honor it. And not saying that that's your case, but I'm just saying in general, because I had to check myself on some stuff like that in the past. Like, I'm praying for this, but am I in alignment for what I'm asking for? So just making sure that you're in alignment. And I also want y'all to know this, that every trap and trick that they're setting for you, those are the same traps and tricks that they're going to fall in. And I know y'all heard this term, that hole they dug for you, they going to fall in it. I'm telling you, that how it happen every time. So if somebody going out their way, seeming obsessive with trying to destroy you, just look at them like they're crazy, because like I said, the joke is on them. They looking crazy, they fighting demons, and you woke and they still asleep. You're right though, I have been praying alignment. I have to make sure, yes, just make sure you're in alignment for what you're asking for. you know and like I said, just do like a fast, and just think about it, like just write down all the things that you want to change, and just write down all the things that you feel like you're not in alignment in, and just like I said, just shift your mindset and start doing, living for God. So I have a question for you guys. What is one lesson that betrayal taught you? Drop it in the chat. Does fasting prayer? Yes, it does work. If it's done effectively, yes. You know, you got to be strategic when you're doing your fasting. You say don't trust everybody so easily. Okay, so that's one thing you learned about. Yes, and that's what I had to learn too, because like I said, a lot of times people can be smiling in your face, they can be clapping for you, they can be giving you fake support, but when you're a chosen one, you have discernment, so you can see straight through it. And like I said, before, I know with me, before I was awakened, as soon as somebody seemed like they was happy, happy for me, I used to be kind of open up and overshare too much information. So it's imperative that you don't trust everybody. Please do not overshare information, because if you overshare with the wrong person, they can take it to the people that's monitoring you, and everybody will come. That's how everybody come together in them groups, because they got certain people monitoring you. So you got to be, very selective in who you're talking to. Somebody said, I never thought I'd be sober. I was an addict, almost OD. God helped me. 4 years now. no drugs, alcohol, weed, cigarettes, and all those hookups. All praise be God. God bless you. I'm so glad that you overcame those struggles and battles that you faced, David. By the grace of God, he will do it. And like I said, if he delivered you from that, he can deliver you from what you're going through. I'm telling you. So like I said, the situation that you're going through, please don't think it's the end of your story. Welcome in, Monica. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you for stopping by today. Yes. We're talking all about betrayal trauma and how, God used that betrayal to strengthen you and make you unshakable, not to break you. And you say, okay, Rhonda says she's learned not to take it personal. That part, Rhonda, I can understand. I can understand how you feel, because that was the hardest part for me, because when I went through those attacks, I took some of them personal, and I just was like, not really realizing that we're not fighting against the people. You're fighting against, the wickedness and the principalities that's using these people, the spirits behind them. And that's been the hardest part for me, because like I said, I don't retaliate. I deal with things with grace, but sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, it made you, like little Scrappy said, make you want to put your paws on them. I'm telling you, because they will push your buttons. I'm telling you, people in this season, like I said, they're obsessed. They want to control you like a remote control. When they press pause, they want you to pause. When they press play, they want you to play. But I'm telling you, don't let nobody control you in this season. That I don't know what it is and why. Well, I know what it is. That spirit, that Jezebel spirit, they probably operating out of that, because that spirit, it is very manipulative, controlling, and they have people doing things that they shouldn't be doing, especially trying to control you. They're obsessed with control. And see, when you're obsessed with control, that means that you're prideful. And God, you can't hear God when you're prideful, because at that point you're telling God that you're more than him. Yeah, you more than him, and God is not going to bless nobody that feel like they're more than him. God is not going to bless nobody that don't surrender to, like I said, you might not want to agree with what he wants you to do, but I'm telling you, it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. And that's why God say, don't lean to your understanding, but what? Lean to his understanding. Because it's a reason for that. Because like I said, y'all go through battles, when we go through battles, like, we can't see everything, but God already seen them, in the dark, plotting against you, in doing a witchcraft against you. And see, that's the part that you don't see. And if you retaliate, you're gonna fumble your blessing. I'm telling you, because something gonna end up happening that you ain't, you weren't prepared for. But that's why you got to wait on God. And see, I know, like, God had came to me, he was just talking to me in my spirit, just basically saying that a lot of people that go through these attacks, it's because they don't want to wait on him. That's why he said in the Bible, be still and know that I am God. He said that for a reason. And a lot of people, the reason why they're going through those attacks, because they're moving ahead of him. And he said to me, he said, my people won't be still. That's exactly how he told me. My people won't be still. Somebody said they don't even know my story and do all the attacks. I'm so strong and they are weak times. And see, that's the thing. They are very weak. And the fact that they got to pull you down to feel strong, that already, let you know a lot. It says a lot about their character. And they don't, and the fact that they don't even care about, the story that you've been through. They don't care about it, because like I said, they want to wear your story like a costume. Like I said, we as the chosen ones, we go through this, the hard part, we go through the pain, and they take shortcuts. So when you're going through what you're going through, they're going to take what you're going through and pretend like, it was their story without doing the work. And like I said, they don't care. They'll attack you. And that's the thing. They want to keep you stuck in that trauma. That's the goal. Their goal is to keep you stuck in that trauma, because they fear your power, because they already know that once God bless you, the enemy fears, how high you're going to go. The enemy, it's a threat to the enemy's kingdom. So yes, that's why they attack you, because they want to keep you stuck. Because think about it. If you stuck in your trauma, you're not going to want to grow. Your mindset is not even going to be focused. They want you confused. They want you confused. And like I said, you're going to deal with a lot of people trying to distract you in this season, because I'm dealing with it, trying to do little stupid clown tricks in the parking lot, all kind of crazy stuff. But you can't fall for it. Those are people fighting with demons, insecurities. They don't want to do the work to heal. And then when they see you thriving and they see you in peace, in peace, you're happy, it bothers them. It's like they want to rob you of your joy. But like I said, you cannot let them rob you of your joy. You got to keep going. You got to apply as much pressure. When you see somebody trying to make you, shrink, stand taller. Because I'm telling you, people try to do that. And I'm going to tell you, people in those positions, if you're at a job, managers, leaders, in your family, your sister, your mom, anybody that feel like they more than you or got a title or feel like they older than you, they feel like they think that they can control you and they feel like they can play God in your life. Don't let nobody play God in your life. I don't care what their title is. Don't feel obligated that you have to talk to these people. If they disrespect you, cut them off. Because when somebody show you who they are, believe them the first time. I'm telling you, my cutoff game was strong in this season. I don't care who they is, brother, sister, cousin. If you do me wrong, you're getting cut off. Point blank, period. Because you know what you did when you did it. And it was intentional. And like I say, when you're going through that pain and when they're trying to keep you stuck, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna try to keep attacking you. But I promise you, when you glow up, they're gonna try to come back around, and that's a legion bait trap. Don't fall in it now. They're gonna try to come back around and they're gonna try to talk to you, hey, and try to pretend like they supported you. Do not talk back to them. Cut them off. Point blank, period. Because they're not gonna change unless God tell you otherwise. David say, disrespect a warrior, cry me on the eyes of the angels of the Lord, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I know that's right. Yes. Don't allow nobody negative energy to distract you in this season. Do not fall for those bait traps. Let me see. And another thing too, you're gonna have a lot of people just because they don't understand you. Just because they don't understand you, you're gonna have a lot of people that's trying to want you to explain yourself. But I'm here to tell you, do not feel like you got to explain yourself in this season. If they don't get you, then it ain't for them to get. God is gonna put you around, the tribe of people who is there for you and who really cares for you. Somebody say you're absolutely right. Yes. And like I said, when people are hurting you, it's so easy, like I said, to want to seek revenge. It's so hard, to not want to forgive them. But let me tell you something. Even though they hurt you, you still got to forgive them, because if you don't forgive them, you're going to carry on their burdens. Yes. Well, you don't got to wait for the tribe, because guess what? The ministry, you already in the ministry tribe. You in the right place, Damar. And whenever if you want to build your own tribe, like I said, we definitely will support you as well. That's what we for. Yep, definitely. Forgive them. That's the best thing you can do. And I'm going to be honest, it's hard because, like I said, people can do stuff to you that that it's hard for some people to bounce back from. But like I said, that's why God trusts you with this calling, because he knew that you can still handle things with grace. Because I'm going to be honest, like a lot of people did things to me in this season, y'all. It was so hard to still be graceful. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not the type of, to be retaliate. I'm not the type to get out of character. But some of these things that they do, if you don't, go to God about it, if you're not staying prayed up, you will retaliate. And like I said, their goal is to get you out of character so they can be like, see, I told you, see, don't fall in them traps. Now I'm telling you now, these people crazy out here. They're crazy, I'm not sure where y'all dealing with these attacks at. Like, if it's in your family, like I said, no matter if they're older than you, I don't care who they are to you, your blood, if they cannot respect you, do not allow them to control you. Just keep it moving. Somebody said I had to move to my auntie house for a minute. Yeah, you got to get away from that energy. And Tasha said she had to forgive and release. Definitely, you did the right thing. You got to release it. Because you can't hold on to it, because you're going to be blocking your blessings. Because guess what? You're going to be stuck in your trauma. And that's where they want you at. That's the trap. Like I say, we deal with things on a regular basis, as Christians. Like, some people think just because you're a Christian that, we're not going to deal with attacks. No. I don't know if I know y'all heard this saying, every new level comes with a new devil. And I promise you, they ain't lying. And I'm like, because when I start experiencing my awakening, I'm like, God, I was stuck in my own head. I know that's right. I'm like, God, I'm thinking things going to get lighter, but no, things got even heavier and heavier. And I'm be honest, sometimes it make you like, God, I don't even know if I want this calling, but I'm telling you, Don't second guess your calling. Don't let nothing make you shrink back. And I'm gonna tell you, in this season, God is gonna call you to do things that you ain't gonna believe that you can do. You're gonna be thinking like, "Dang, He want me to do that." Because I'm telling you, I went through. I'm like, I've never saw the day I would be a prophetess. I know I wanted to be a coach, but I didn't know that God was calling me to be a prophetess, and I had to step into that role because I'm like, first off, before I become a prophetess, I'm a prophetess. I want to make sure that I'm in alignment because what I'm not gonna do is lie to people and steer them in the wrong lane. So I had to make sure I was in alignment so I can take on this calling. Yes. So you got to you got to be strong enough to step into what He calling you to do. And like I said, it's going to be hard. Well, it's not hard. It's going to feel like it's hard at first, but I promise you, what I want you to know is don't feel pressure because, it's going to be at your own pace because God is not going to call you to do something if He's not, if you don't feel like you're ready. So just know that He gave you this calling because He know that you was ready. Okay, so Rhonda said, my mother, sisters, and family members is sickening. Yes. And sad to say, it's the closest one to you. You know why? Because they know how to get to you the most. They know exactly which button to push to get you to act out, lash out, and stay stuck in your trauma. But like I say, I have powerful strategies to help you deal with them as well because I went through it with my siblings. And some of my family members, they thought that, like I said, they thought that betrayal that they did was going to land. But no, I showed them, no, baby, I ain't the one of the two. And guess what? I ain't had to fight you. I ain't had to seek vengeance because guess what? I let God deal with you. I let God handle my light work. So don't go chasing the revenge. Like I said, the people that coming up against you, God can see it. They can feel like they're hiding, but they can't hide it. Those the type of people they throw rocks and hide their hands. But I promise you, God's seen everything, and He will reveal to you. If you're dealing with a situation where people are doing things to you secretly, pray to God and ask God, show me, reveal to me this person. Is this person right for me? I promise you, He'll answer your prayers. And like I say, it hurts. Like I said, the betrayal, and I know I said it earlier, but I got to, talk about it more. It hurts more when it comes from your closest siblings because those are the ones that's supposed to have your back. Those are the ones that, supposed to encourage you. Y'all supposed to uplift each other. But I'm telling you, when it comes to siblings, they get jealous of you. They get envious. They'll try to destroy your life if if you're not strong enough. You can't allow siblings to destroy your life. You can't allow your parents to destroy your life. And the reason why they're trying to destroy your life because they made bad decisions and didn't work on themselves, and they want to destroy your life because they miserable and they mad that you didn't destroy your life like they did. But like I said, their trauma and their insecurities is not your burden to carry. Let them deal with it on their own and cut them off, point blank, period. I don't care who they are to you. If they cannot respect you, if they cannot treat you with the utmost respect that God, gave, teaches us how to deal with, cut them off. Because it's not worth it. If you keep being around people like that, they're going to keep trying to think of little traps and things to try to hurt you. And I'm not sure if y'all experience, but I know with my siblings, I experienced, they're trying to diminish me, trying to do things to make me feel bad about myself, trying to isolate me. But like I said, once I released myself from around those individuals, I felt more happier. I felt at peace. I felt more confidence because you got to understand that sometimes, whether it's your sibling, your mom, or your father, whoever, sometimes they harbor jealousy. And like I said, they don't want to heal themselves from what they're hurting from. So guess what? Hurt people hurt other people. But I refuse. And I want you to refuse too, to allow people to hurt you. I don't care who they are. Stand on your boundaries and stand on business and cut them off with no explanation. David say he's crazy. He's high. He's bro. God knows who I am. I know that's right. Yep. God definitely know you. God, like I said, God know everything about you. You know how many hairs on your head. So let them keep trying to attack you because guess what? They're going to fail miserably every time. And guess what? The same people that's trying to attack you, they're going to have to sit here and watch God bless you right in their face. They're going to have front row seats to your glow up. And guess what? They won't even have no access. They're going to have to sit in the nosebleeds. I just told my daughter that new level, new devil. Yes. And it's hard, and nobody want to go through that, but that's how it is. But the higher God brings you, the more oppression, you're going to deal with, the more attacks you're going to deal with, the more pressure, but you got to know how to stand tall. You got to, that's why he's fully equipping you. You know what I'm saying? Because he said the weapons may form, but he's giving you the weapons to dismantle them before they even start. You just got to know how to, some people, you just got to read your Bible, and you just got to know what your gifts are, or what your strength are. Because like a lot of people, they may not, read the Bible a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get familiar with your Bible. And I might start doing Bible study too, so that we can all get familiar together and we can talk more about the word, so you will know how to, be ready for those battles and fully equipped. Okay, so Rhonda says, I have no contact with any of my blood family, and they've been crashing out ever since. They attack me while I'm sleeping to go backwards. I'm not the one to go backwards. Praise God. Yep. With those witchcraft attacks, yeah, they want you to stay backwards because they don't want to see you moving forward. They don't want to see you happy. So that's what it sounds like, you're dealing with witchcraft attacks. And I have powerful prayers in my spiritual warfare book that can definitely dismantle those, because I had to pray against that too. I don't know what it is, but some people, like I said, they don't want you at peace. Your peace disturbs their demons. And like I said, they want you dealing with the spirit of backwardness, because like I said, they want you to go backwards. They don't want you to go forward, because guess what? They're too insecure and they're too weak to work on themselves. So they want you to feel weak too. But I'm telling you, the devil is a liar. God did not call us here to shrink. God did not call us here to be weak and not fulfill your purpose. See, God gave them a chance, but guess what? They blew it. They didn't answer the call. They pressed decline, but you answered. That made them upset. So I just want to let you know, excuse me, y'all, somebody was knocking at the door, but you answered the call. And because you answered the call, that made them mad, because they wanted you not to answer the call like them. Yep, they wanted you not to answer the call like them. Let me see. Somebody says, thank you. You're welcome, David. The dating gospel, let me see. He's guiding me. Glory to be God. I know that's right. I let the Bible play out loud to me, and yes, that's awesome. And you can also, like with me, I like to go on YouTube sometime and listen to certain prayers play back, and I'm gonna also do voice prayers too to kind of help you guys. But just listen to a prayer all night, and the best one I like to listen to is Psalms 91. So just listen to those type of prayers, especially the ones against attacks, and grab my spiritual warfare prayer book out my bio, because I promise you, it definitely will help against those, because I got a lot of particular prayers in there against the humiliation ritual, prayers against witchcraft, prayers, for deliverance, prayers against warfare at work, in your relationship, in your family, prayers for your kids, prayers for, your dreams. It's just a lot of prayers. I have over 55 prayers in that book that can help you counsel out all these attacks that you're experiencing. So let me see. What about managers and bosses or co-workers acting that way? And Audrey, you brought up a good point. You're going to deal with a lot of that in the workplace. And for some reason, if it's your manager, you may have experience where she fears your power, or she feels intimidated by your growth, and thinking that you're going to take their position. But that's not your burden to carry. If they was doing their job, they wouldn't have to worry about you taking their position. That's just, they have insecurities, and they try to hold you back and stop you because they fear your power. And you got to watch out with the coworkers too, because sometimes the coworkers and the managers, they can come together and form groups against you, because I went through it, and they'll try to attack your character. They'll try to smear your name. They'll block promotions for you, because they don't want to see you get hired in them. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely coming from a place of arrogance. And I thank God that God removed me from those type of situations. But you're going to deal with situations like that, with managers being insecure, coworkers insecure, because your power outshines them, and that makes them upset because your light is so bright. And with the coworkers, you have some of them pick me coworkers where they feel like they want to get close to the manager, so they'll go run back and report everything you're doing. Those are monitoring spirits, and if you're dealing with all coworkers are not your friends, so you got to be careful. And I'm not, I met some coworkers that were actually good, but a lot of them, they, when they see you coming in with their confidence, you radiating, at a high frequency, and like I say, they have to do things to get attention. But with the chosen ones, you naturally get the attention, and that makes them mad because your presence is powerful, and they don't have that presence. You got to understand when it comes to managers and coworkers, they live in illusions. Sometimes people like to look like power, but they really not. And see, with the chosen, we can see through those illusions. So that right there, I definitely can help you with. If you're dealing with that in the workplace and you feeling like, you're stuck, I can definitely coach you on that because I've mastered that, and I've done a phenomenal job on dealing with that. And sometimes, like I said, it's going to be very aggravating at first, but you got to know how to protect your peace. You got to know how to win at certain situations like that, and don't fall into those bait traps, because you're going to see a lot of people, managers and coworkers, they're going to be trying to set bait traps, like I say, trying to do things to set you up, but you got to be awakened and aware to those tactics. Okay, somebody say, could you also pray for my daughter, Alexis Matthew, better relationship into mom? Yep, I definitely will. I definitely will pray for your family. And like I said, if you want a specific prayer, head over to my bio and put it in there, and I can definitely pray. Okay. Thank y'all. And welcome for the ones that's just coming in. Okay, somebody say, and for what? I don't know. And see, that's the thing. I just sometimes when people attack you, especially managers and coworkers, like they lash out for no reason. With the chosen ones, your power, like I said, your power is making them upset and disturbing the demons that's inside of them. So I know it's annoying, but you cannot let them make you feel like, you don't have a voice, or you can't do anything, or you feel powerless. Because with the managers, they like to use their titles, making you think that you can't do anything, or oh, I'm the boss, so you got to listen to me or do what I say do. No, you know what I'm saying? You got rules too. Just like you need your job, just like I need my job, you need your job. So if you come for me, I'm coming for you. But the way, you got to let them know. And the way that you come for them, not with retaliation, not with vengeance, but you let God deal with them. You pray. And I got some more, like I said, I got powerful strategies. I'm not going to let it, be known on here, because you never know what monitoring spirit might roll up in your life. So we can't share all our, tricks in the live, because there's somewhere lurking. Somebody said lean back from the mic. Okay. I didn't know I was too loud. Okay. Well, not too loud, but you probably couldn't hear me. Okay. Me too. Okay. Somebody said always be truthful and true to yourself and be kind. I understand what you're saying. Yes. Mimi, welcome in. You got to be truthful with yourself. You got to embrace your truth, because if you embrace your truth, you'll know how to deal with those situations and those setbacks, and you can bounce back quicker. Because a lot of times, like I said, the people that's living in illusions, and the people that's pretending like they got confidence and they don't, you can't bounce back when you like that, because like I said, you don't know how to bounce back because you pretending. And see, to them, when they see the chosen, they think we pretending, but no, we actually have power while they faking. Damar say, even though I'm not in the studio singing, I just do it freely out loud. As I praise, I feel it don't matter where I'm doing it. Exactly. It don't matter where you are. God love when you praise him. And you don't have to be in the studio, to be singing just to praise God, or church just to praise God. You can praise him right in your bathroom, right in your bedroom, in the car, or wherever you want to go. Because with me being a prophetess, I go to church, but, with me teaching, I be on here most of the time trying to teach you guys. So I haven't went to church in, a lot, because I'm building my own ministry. But just because, I haven't been in church, that don't mean that, I don't love God or I don't praise him. I praise him every day. I have prayer routines when I wake up in the afternoon, before I come home, before when I was going to work, before I went into work. You got to have your routines ready, because I'm telling you, you never know when the enemy might, bait trap you. And sometimes the enemy, well, not sometimes, All the times the enemy like to catch you when you feeling at your weakest or at your lowest. So you got to be mindful. Thank you for that. Have you ever dealt with gang stalking and how did you get through it? Yes, I deal with it all the time, still to this day. And I have some powerful strategies. I'm going to tell you a couple on here, but I'm not going to put, everything on here, because I don't want the monitoring spirits to hear how we handle them because they might get smart on us and try to switch them up. So, so when it comes to gang stalking, for one, don't respond. Do not respond to them. Because if you respond to it, they're going to amp it up and they're going to keep doing it. They may keep doing it anyway, but you got to treat them like they don't exist. You got to act like you don't see them. You got to treat them like they're ghosts because they're doing this because they want your attention. And like I said, I deal with it a lot, with neighbors. I deal with it a lot with, I dealt with it with family. Definitely the workplace. I dealt with a lot of, mean girl cliques forming together because they insecure, jealous, or they fear your power. Okay. But, like I said, I was able to get through because I didn't allow it to affect me. And also, I was able to get through it easily because I was immune to the attacks because I've been going through gang stalking ever since, oh my God, since I probably would say since I was a teenager. Because like I said, some of your family members, they get in mean girl cliques and they try to outcast you, or they mad because you trying to take out, they feel like you taking all the attention for them, or they don't feel as pretty, you know what I'm saying? And so when some people, they don't feel pretty, they don't want the pretty girl to take all the attention. So I dealt with that too. But like I said, with those type of people, you're gonna have to cut them off. Don't surround yourself with somebody that you think gonna have to provoke you, that you think is gonna provoke you. Because I know with me, where I made my mistake at with dealing with gang stalking, and this was like in families, and I know one time I was in a relationship dealing with family with gang stalking. Where I made my mistake at was I kept going to the gatherings. When they have them get-togethers, don't go. If you feel like, it's going to be tension, do not put yourself around somebody that's going to intentionally provoke your spirit. You got to protect your energy and stay from around people that's looking for, like I said, to upset you because they fighting demons, bait traps or something. They sure are, you know. The bait traps, I don't know what it is about them traps, but they, and you should see them when they set the traps for you. They bust out laughing. They look like clowns, and they don't realize it. Look like clowns trying to bait all these traps. Like, I mean, that's so eighth grade. Why are we still setting traps for grown people? Go sit down somewhere. Go read the Bible. Go to school. Go do something. Okay, I'll just say yes. Okay, Earth Nerd said I literally just left a job because they were doing way too much. Yes, and I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you have to leave a job and don't feel like you was weak, because you left a job. You protected your peace, you know. And sometimes you might be in a situation where you can't leave the job at that moment. But I promise you, if you give it to God, you keep praying to Him, He'll pull you out of that situation. Because I've been through that situation where I felt like, you know, I thought I was stuck, but I'm like, no, I know I'm not stuck. That's the enemy making me feel like I'm stuck. Just like I said, just like they need their job, just like you need your job, they need their job. So you got to know how to deal, you know, and you got to know how to, like I said, when you go to the HR too, you got to know how to do certain things. And HR might not always be your best bet because sometimes I hear people say that they in the interest, of the company. So you got to be careful with that. But I found another powerful strategy that I'm not gonna mention on here. You definitely will have to book a session about that. That is powerful, where you don't even have to get HR involved. It's another tactic I discovered, and I wish I'd known it when I was going through that situation. And see, that's the thing, when you're going through that situation and you don't know what tools you have available to you, that they win because you don't know how to handle yourself. But once you start showing them, in my situation, I still stood on business and I still won, but it was one little thing I wish I did differently that would have just ended earlier. But like I said, at the end of the day, I was respected. I stood on business, and they know that I ain't the one and the two. They messed around and found out. Because, like, I'm not sure, I can't speak for everybody, but if you're the type of person, I know with me, I'm an introvert, and I'm quiet, and sometimes I can be shy. But when somebody make me mad, baby, you done messed up, because I'm applying pressure at all costs. and I ain't gonna stop. And yes, I say I ain't because that's how I'm feeling. I ain't gonna stop. And see, that's why people don't understand, that term it says, don't poke the bear. It's a reason for that because when you poke the bear, when you mess with the wrong person, I'm telling you, you're going to mess around and find out every time. Somebody say, you have been blessing me. Emerge say, you have been blessing me. I appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Emerge. I'm so glad that my teachings have been getting to you guys. I know I took a little small break, but I took that break because I had to recharge you guys. Because what I'm not going to do is try to pour, from an empty cup. Because when I try to pour from an empty cup, I don't give my best. And like I said, when I invited y'all to my tribe, I want to give y'all my very best. And I'm going to make sure every time I come on this live, I'm pouring from a full cup. Because I want to make sure that I'm beneficial to you guys. I want to make sure that I'm helping you guys get through these struggles because it's hard, especially when you don't have people, when you try to talk to certain people, they look at you like you crazy, especially as a chosen one. I've been through it where I, talk to some of my family members about certain things and they looking at you like you crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I'm just aware, you know what I'm saying? And see, at the time I didn't know that, God had us awakened earlier than them and we was 10 steps ahead of them while they thinking that we behind, we actually ahead. So I had to learn like, oh, they just not on the level that I'm on, not coming from a place of arrogance, but just like they just not even on the level or the frequency that I'm on. So that's why they don't understand what's going on. Because guess what? To them, your frequency looks like static. Yeah, they're hold on. Okay, baby, excuse my baby. But yeah, they say hold on one second. Hold on one second, you guys. Sorry, you guys. My daughter thinking she gonna rush me off this live. Not today. I'm not leaving until, you know, I'm finished. Okay, so somebody said, why do these monitoring spirits always have to watch everything we do? They watching everything that you do, Audrey, because they see something in you that they don't have. They see that you have more wisdom than them. They see that you have power that they don't have. So they're monitoring you because they want to figure out what kind of frequency have you tapped into that they don't know about. So they're monitoring you because, like I say, they are jealous of you. They want what you have. I'm gonna be honest, some of them just straight up want to be you. And that's the crazy part. Like some people think that they can wear who you are as a costume. But like I said, when God gave you that oil, he made it where nobody can duplicate it. So no matter how hard they try to emulate you, they will never be able to duplicate your calling. And that's what I had to realize. Because like when God gave me my calling, like I said, a lot of people try to, they'll put you through pain and trying to wear it like they've been through it. No, these my scars. Okay, somebody said, people be looking for problems. Yes, the ones that's looking for problems are the ones that refuse to do the work to heal. They intimidated by your success. They insecure in themselves, and like I said, they don't want to put the work in, and they want to keep people on the same level they on. Because believe it or not, you have a lot of people, it can be in your family, workplace, or wherever. They look at you and they judge you, and they think that you're supposed to stay at a certain level. But what I'm here to tell you is those are the type of people that want to play God in your life, that feel like, you can't do something till they say do it. Nah, my calling is not up to you. It's up to God. Don't put them people on a pedestal because, like I said, they'll hold you back. And yes, they're looking for problems because, like I said, they see you moving ahead of them. That's the main reason. You moving too fast. You glowing up. You happy, and they miserable. That's all. That's all it boils down to. And the people that, like I say, the people that fear your power, they're gonna lash out, and that's how you'll know they fighting with them demons. I had to do that too. Definitely. And like I say, I mean, I'm not sure. Well, I know somebody mentioned the gang stalking. Yeah, they're going to be following you around. I deal with that too with a lot of females. They get jealous of how you carry yourself. You confident. They want to follow you around like they in second grade. And it's so funny to me. I'm laughing at them like you riding around looking like a clown. You're going to get dizzy. You keep following me because I ain't paying you no attention. Matter of fact, I'm laughing at you because you look stupid right now. So they think and this is the thing, to them, because they still sleep, to them, it makes them think that when they following you, like they have power over you, or they're trying to instill fear in you. So when they do this, do not let them make you feel fearful, because they want you to be afraid to do things. They want you to be afraid to feel free. For some reason, they want to take your freedom from you. Because like I said, I've dealt with it too. They want to suppress you. And they want, because like I said, you vibrating too high. Your energy is on a level that they can't even reach. So they're trying to pull you back down, because like I said, some people think that when God bless you that you don't deserve certain things. But like I said, it's not up them to have the say so on what you deserve. You didn't do the work to get where you need to be at. So therefore, you're not going to stop me. You're not going to stop me. Because that's what their goal is, to try to stop you, to try to stagnate your growth so that you can't make it to your calling. Let me see. Okay, somebody said, our blessings watching our, yes, they're watching your blessings, because guess what? They want to find ways to get you to fumble your blessings. They want to find ways to steal it from you. And some people, like I said, they think they're smarter than you. So they think that if they, can get to your blessing before you, that you won't be able to get it. They want to take it away from you. That's all what it boils down to. I just talking about and do. Yep. It's not up to them to make them decisions, huh? Yeah, it's not up to them, but they want it to be up to them, and that's why God say, you can't listen to man, because if you listen to man, it's always gonna be some type of automated well, that's not the word I'm trying to use, automative, or it's gonna be some kind of manipulation behind it. It's always gonna be something that they want in return. It's like people don't know how to do things for you from the kindness of their heart no more. Somebody said, they helped me to look this good. I turned it into positive. I even went vegan 3 years ago. I looked as sexy as a king. Thank you, Lord. I know that's right. Yeah. You know, when they try to, the more they try to destroy you, that's the more you should pour into yourself. Sad to say, there's a lot of people out here that gets mad when you focus on yourself, because they don't like themselves. And that's what I had to learn too. A lot of people don't even like who they are. And because they don't like who they are, they want you to feel the same way. The devil is a liar. Do not, not like yourself because they don't like themselves. It's giving weird energy. Audrey is right. Weird energy and weird vibes. That somebody don't like themselves and want you to, feel the same way too. And like I said, and a lot of people, you're being attacked because, like I said, they're afraid to do things. They see you doing something that they're afraid to do. So because they're afraid, they are projecting that negative energy on you, because they're hoping that in return, it'll, excuse me, my daughter, it'll stop you, from reaching your purpose or doing what God called you to do. That's why they try to distract you. So in this season, like I said, you got to learn how to deal with those distractions. Don't let it knock you off your game. Don't let nobody dethrone you in this season. Because that's what the goal is. They want to dethrone you so that you can give up on your calling and be like them. So, but like I said, the best thing to do in this season is forgive, release, because it frees you. It frees you. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna deal with a lot of trauma, but it's how you bounce back from those setbacks that you're going through. And just always remember that setback is always going to be a comeback. God is going to turn their evil situation into your good. And somebody saying, and all these people got to do is learn from us instead of manipulating to doing things their way. And see, that's the thing, Audrey. They don't want to learn from you because they think they're better than you, or they think they know more than you. And that's where that pride, kick in. And they got to let pride go to grow, and they don't want to do that. That's where that arrogance come from. Because I dealt with people like that. They feel like because they're older than you, especially in your family or in the workplace, they feel like since they're older than you or they got this little title over their head, they feel like they know more. But no, you don't. God will humble them. I'm telling you, every last person that came to me in this season got humbled, and God will use you to humble them. That's the crazy thing, because I know God used me to humble them. And like I said, I'm not the type of person to humble nobody in no, combative way, or I handle it with grace. And like I said, your silence is your strategy. Like, it makes them feel even more crazier for even coming to you because you don't respond to them. But they ain't. Audrey, Audrey a trip. Sure did. He using me like, yeah, he using you to humble them. The same people that they try to step on is the same ones they're gonna have to look up to in 2025. And I'm not saying that with arrogance. I'm saying that with truth. Like I say, if you don't want truth on this live, you in the wrong place. Cause I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. I'm speaking the truth. He gonna use you to humble them, and they're gonna be looking up to you, and they're gonna be looking up to you. They're gonna be mad because they feel like it should have been them. No, God ain't gonna choose you because you think you more than Him. You think you smarter than Him. You think you know everything. You think God gonna give you a blessing so that you can manipulate even more people. Eh, You know, and like I said, with a person like that, with a person that's operating from ego, manipulation, and insecurity, if God gave them the power, they'll make sure you will never reach your goals, and you will always be beneath them. That's why God don't put people in position like that. Because one thing about the chosen ones, we don't mind helping people. We don't mind if somebody be in the same position as us, or we'll help you get there, even if you get ahead of us. And see, that's the thing about us that's different from narcissists. They want to take your power, but God put us in position to help people find their power. Someone's they tired to throw in the trash in the same ones they need. Yes, I'm telling you. Let me see. They got me once, but God and the calling, it make me feel the big of a shift kind of. Now I laugh and pray. Exactly. And see, at the beginning, yeah, David, it's going to get you. But the reason why it got you because you wasn't awakened to it. You wasn't awakened to it. So when you're not awakened to something, it's easy to fall into the traps. But I promise you, when God wake you up, stop, Paris, my baby, being rude. But when God wake you up, it's over, and they know it. And see, that's why they're trying so hard to make you stay asleep, and they're trying so hard to, stop you from reaching your power because they know once you do, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Gerard Rainey. Welcome in, Gerard. He said, Sister, I was prophesied that God is going to work on my marriage. Thank you, Jesus. Her eyes are going to be open. She's going to get it through. What is that? To God. Gerard, that's funny. I know that's right. I hope she do get it through that. Yes. But I'm glad that you got the confirmation that you needed, Gerard, because I remember speaking with you about that situation. And I know at first, we weren't sure how that situation was going to go, but I told you, I said, when you talk to God and when you pray to God, He definitely will answer your prayer. And sometimes it might not be the way that you want it, but in your case, it's going to be the way that you want it because He's going to strengthen your marriage. I'll just say, game over. I know that's right. Game over for the narcissist. That's right. And see, that's the thing. They keep trying to, Gerard say, let me see, Gerard said, I've been praying in tears. But yes, keep praying because He will come through. But yeah, this is the season right here. God is putting an end to all that narcissism, all them bait traps, and all that crazy stuff. You're going to have people that still try, but it's going to be very hard because that cycle is being broken. That's so true. They think they're going to get me again. I know that's right. That's what they think. But they don't understand that, our presence exposes everything. And you can have a lot of people, they're going to try to, like I said, try to push you down and try to make you shrink just to pretend like they got a presence. For some reason, some people, they want so much attention or they want people to fear them. If you're around somebody that wants you to fear them, remove yourself from them because they operating from, from evil, from darkness. David say, that's so true. They think they're going to get me again. Gerard say, the spiritual gaslighting depend on the Holy Spirit to discern the junk. Yes, you got to pray. Because if you don't have discernment, the enemy will get you every time. But if you got discernment, and you pray, you definitely, God will definitely get you through it. He's like, you want attention, go to the army. Exactly. And when they get that type of attention from the army, they're gonna be crying trying to get out of there. Because I'm telling you, them people don't play. I knew people in the military. I'm telling you. Yeah. But I'm not gonna hold you guys. Talking about Tia Hut. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you guys for coming into my live. And I've seen a lot of, like I said, I've seen a lot of my books being sold. Thank y'all so much. If you bought a book from me, please let me know on my discussion board so that I can shout you out. But my book has been selling. God is blessing me, you guys. I'm just excited. My book is, being an impact and helping people. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go. I enjoy you guys. For the ones that are new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. And I will see y'all next time. Keep pressing, keep listening. I know that's right. See you guys later. You're welcome, Audrey. See y'all later.